What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and a very happy Easter or whatever holiday you celebrate or don't celebrate today. Regardless, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and there's new Melfi cards that are going to be coming out in Power of the Elements. Figured this was a perfect video for this today given the holiday tie-ins and all of that. Melfi's definitely been a fan favorite archetype since it came out, and has even seen some actual success alongside certain Tri-Brigade builds and engines, so you can imagine a lot of people were pretty pumped to see the new cards announced. What we're going to do today is go through the new cards, as well as talk about a few existing pieces of support that I think they'll kind of combo well with, and just give overall thoughts. These I have not read yet, so as with some of the videos in the past, I usually will read the cards first and try to strategize, but I basically just kind of got a quick gist of what the effects are, and cards to consider with Melfis in general. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into the video. Obviously, Melfi Rabby's just here as a joke. It's not really that good of a card, but it is adorable and does deserve some love. So, starting off, we've got Melfi Sealy, which, I mean, this art is just top tier. Level 2 Beast Water Monster, and it is a tuner, which is, I believe, the first tuner Melfi actually has. If a face-up beast monster or monsters other than Melfi Sealy was returned to the hand this turn, quick effect. You can special summon this card from your hand, then immediately after this effect resolves, you can synchro summon using only Melfi monsters in your hand and this card as material. During your end phase, if this card is in your grave, you can target one beast exceeds monster you control, attach it to this card as material. So there's a lot going on. It's got the obvious sort of, Melfi being able to special summon from the hand thing, but this one specifically doesn't care what the opponent does and doesn't rely on the opponent doing something in order to trigger its effects. Sealy basically says if another Melfi returns to your hand, you special this, and then you can synchro summon using this card on the field and any other Melfi monsters in your hand, which is neat because being able to use some of your additional Melfis that have already bounced back to trigger their effects for a synchro summon is definitely a neat tie-in. That end phase effect is neat, and it's honestly decent enough to be able to equip to some of your other Melfi XCs, so no harm, no foul there. Overall, really cool. It's a beast tuner. A little disappointing it's not an earth monster because you'd have options to go into things like Naturia Beast, although it would take a little bit of maneuvering because most of the levels aren't going to line up the way that they should, but that's neither here nor there. So Sealy is pretty good overall. I do think because the synchro, which we're going to look at in a second, doesn't specifically require Melfis, you might have a bit more flexibility there, but that remains to be seen. Melfi Wallaby, probably my favorite art from Melfis so far. It's just adorable. Level 2 Earth Beast Monster. It, of course, has the Melfi effect that says if an opponent normal or special summons a monster, or if an opponent's monster targets this card for an attack, you can return this card to the hand, then special summon 2 Melfi monsters with different names from each other from your deck. During the end phase, you can special summon this card from your hand. So it has all your standard Melfi effects here, but its actual triggering Melfi effect allows you to return it to the hand and then special summon 2 Melfis with different names. So it's essentially a Rescue Rabbit-esque card for the deck, except it doesn't negate the effects of what it brings out, and it obviously allows you to go into either a synchro or a XC's play. Now, I don't know, based on verbiage and wording of Sealy, whether or not you would be able to utilize this effect, sort of bouncing it, specialing Sealy, and then at the end of that chain, trigger Sealy's effect to special itself and go off into synchro combos. Someone with some ruling familiarity, if you're watching and you happen to have a thought, feel free to weigh in on that, because I'm sure people will have questions of that nature. But currently, I don't know, so I'm not going to comment on it too much. Other than that, though, it's really good advantage generating to really get some extra stuff on your board that you can then overlay or synchro with, so Wallaby is a really good card overall. Melfi Staring Contest is a continuous spell that says you can reveal one beast monster in your hand, add one Melfi monster with a different name from your deck or graveyard to your hand, and if you do, place the revealed monster on the bottom of the deck. So any beast, it doesn't have to be a Melfi, which is certainly nice. You can only use this effect once per turn. At the start of your opponent's battle phase, you can reveal any number of Melfi monsters in your hand and keep them revealed during the battle phase. Monsters your opponent controls lose attack equal to the combined attack and defense of all monsters being revealed by this effect. So, let's say you were playing Rabby, which you wouldn't in most cases, but you reveal it, all opponent's monsters are going to lose, at least 2100 attack because that's the combined stats. Most Melfis don't have super high attack points, so I'm not entirely sure how practical that's going to be, but with the defense stats, it's definitely something to consider. Melfi Puppy is an existing one and an example of one of their better tutor cards that grabs something from the deck, but this only has 400, so you're probably going to, be reducing for minimal amounts of damage in most cases, and you actually kind of want your opponent to attack, at least sometimes, so that you're able to proc your Melfi effects. So I don't know. It may, decide for yourself whether or not that second effect is great or not, but the first effect being a hand fixer that does allow you to get access to the Melfis that you need when you need them is definitely a positive. Now, the last new card is Cheerful Melfis. Of course, just artwork is A+ again. A level 4 Earth Synchro monster that needs 1 tuner and 1 or more non-tuner monsters. So you can make this with the new Melfi Sealy and any other Melfi, but you can make this with pretty much any combination of monsters as long as their levels equal 4. So you do have, like I said, that flexibility. If this card is special summoned, you can target one face-up monster on the field and return it to the hand. If your opponent normal or special summons a monster, or if an opponent's monster targets this card for an attack, you can return this card to the extra deck, then you can special summon one Melfi Xyz monster from your extra deck. Couple things to note here. So this basically, the secondary effect is just your standard Melfi effect that does something on attack declaration or summoning. Being able to bring out one of your Melfi Xyz is definitely pretty cool, and something that I think is worth keeping in consideration, because you certainly have the ability to bring out things like Melfi of the Forest, and then attach materials to it with some of your new cards, like Sealy, to be able to combo off and search, and so on and so forth. But the first effect is really neat too. For one, it's when it's special summoned at all, so it doesn't have to be synchro summoned, meaning in later turns, if you revive this or bring it back, you can still non-destruction removal certain cards. But what seems neat about it is you can certainly also use it to return cards on your field. You can use it to combo with Sealy to return something, special it, and then go off and do a synchro or ladder up into another play. And while that's not always going to be the most optimal play you have access to, it's certainly nice to have some kind of flexibility instead of being super restrictive. So I think Cheerful Melfis is a nice additional piece for the deck. Looking at cards like Melfi of the Forest, Melfi Mommy, just there's a small handful of Melfi cards that do different things that the deck always is going to be happy to have more consistent ways to get there, and more importantly than that, more consistent ways to out problem cards, although this does obviously target, so that's going to put a limiter on it. Now, thinking of support for these 4 cards, which I do like, I think Sealy's really cool, I think Wallaby's definitely the best one, and getting that hand fixer is nice, so overall they are really solid pieces of support. I still think Melfi's going to be best served as an engine versus a straight up deck, simply because the opponent can get around a lot of it by just not playing, and you don't really have enough things to force the opponent to, trigger your effects yet. But certain cards to consider. Obedience Schooled is definitely a really good one. This has been pretty standard with any Melfi deck for a while. It doesn't just bring out Melfis. You can certainly bring out things like Halentosa, Beast of the Forest, the Deer Valerifawn that allows you to, revive a different beast. You have certain combos with this. This is a really good card. It got reprinted in Battles of Legend Armageddon, so it was like a year and a half ago. And then it, of course, has its original super rare print, so not the most readily accessible if you're thinking about maybe things to pick up or things to keep an eye on if you're interested in playing Melfis and haven't done so until now. Obedience Schooled is definitely going to be a card that is even better with this new support. Melfi Puppy, as I mentioned, is really good, but I don't see any real value in picking up any of the actual Melfi cards themselves, simply because most of them are so low rarity that they're not going to be in any kind of a significant demand. But the Vernalizer Fairies, which are not out yet, is another archetype that I think might actually really play into this quite well. We talked about this with the video about Ishizu's cards earlier in the week, and I think the Vernalizer Fairies can synergize with Melfis here too, because again, they're all reliant on either discarding themselves, like other Vernalizer Fairies, or Earth monsters in general, that you can revive Earth monsters, you can discard Earth monsters, you can search Earth monsters, and that really plays into Melfi's whole, getting things back from grave, reviving beasts, going off into different combos. And so I just want to put that thought out there, that there are cards coming out that might really complement this as an engine on top of the card itself. Basically just throwing out there that Melfis as a whole are getting some cool new pieces of support, but you're really still going to want to keep in mind other engines, and obviously, like I said before, Tri-Brigade is definitely something that is going to still benefit from this. The deck is, still really solid. It's not the dominant force in the meta, but it's definitely a good deck that is going to, if you choose to play the Melfi, variant of it, have some new things to work with coming up, especially Cheerful Melfis, and the spell that allows you to get some better searches. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. I'm pretty much just kind of covering the Melfi as a whole. I'm not an expert on the deck. I usually talk a little bit more in depth on a deck I'm really well versed in, but I do think it's worth covering these cards, and I'd love to hear what you guys think, especially if you are Melfi players. What do you think about the deck? What's kind of got you interested? The usual here. If you do enjoy the video, please hit the like button and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. I like to interact, and it does help the video to be a little bit more prominent. Certainly click the bell icon if you want to be notified when new videos are posted. But until next time, I'll catch you in the next video.